All right, welcome back to Project Seawolf. We're at the very beginning of a bit of a winter storm here up north in Washington. It's been snowing on and off all day. It's a little break in the snow. I took the day to pack because we're heading down to California. Sarah's checking out some universities to get a second look after her interviews went pretty well. And I'm gonna take the opportunity to do some surveying off Monterey offshore and look for killer whales and other marine mammals with Discovery Whale Watch. So getting pretty excited about that. Hopefully we'll get some new birds on the way too. Tomorrow I'm going to head up onto the boat in Anacortes and get everything winterized for the trip and get some of those chainplate pads done. And then for the first time, I'm probably going to be editing all of this episode on my laptop. So I hope that goes well. It's kind of the reason why I got the laptop, was so I could edit while I'm offshore and everything on the boat. So that'll be fun. It'll be a good test. It'll be a good test before I'm out on the water having to edit videos. It's a lovely winter wonderland here. So today I want to finish all the chainplate pads in the main cabin, which is just going to be this one and one over there behind the freezer. Those are going to be kind of like the standard chain plates. Both of them are baby stays, so both of them are aft baby stays. The other mainstay chain plate is in the head, and I'll do those two at the same time. They're pretty much right next to each other in the same space, so it makes sense to do those at the same time. But I think today we can get at least two done. I'll fill some larger holes throughout the boat as well today while I have the epoxy out. Heater's already warmed up the boat. Let's see what we're dealing with here. So this is the chain plate we're going to be working on. I'm going to start with the finger sander to take away some of the bigger ridges and some of the bigger areas that need to be ground back still. There's some cuts here from when I cut out the old chain plates that I'm gonna need to grind down and make sure those are filled so that I don't have any holes or gaps in there. I can see there's some embedded rust still in the fiberglass here. Not as bad as the other side that I ground out, but on this side, yeah, there's definitely a cavity in there that I'm gonna grind out. So there's still quite a bit of grinding work to do and sanding, which is really most of the effort doing these. The epoxy and the fiberglass really doesn't take that long. It's mostly just the prep work that takes forever. And then on this side, I'm gonna move this stuff out of the way, and there's some deeper gouges over here, probably because I was reaching and trying to do all this at an arm's length. So again, a lot of the same kind of deal. There's some rust still embedded in the fiberglass there, and some deep cuts that I'm gonna have to grind out a little bit. But I think we can get it all done today. All right, let's see what the bilge looks like. I haven't looked in the bilge for quite a while. Not too bad, not too bad. There's just a little bit of water down there, hardly any. I think it's coming from the deck drains, because those leak right now, which is, I mean, part of the reason why I'm going to replace them, but also because they're just old and the levers are broken, or the lever systems inside are broken. This is going to be another big area that I want to finish this winter, is this bilge area, and starting to get the and have these surfaces prepped for the new motor mount chain plates. I also want to build the bowsprit this winter, and going into spring. I think that'll be an awesome project, and I think a lot of people want to see it too. So yeah, building the bowsprit is on the horizon. Alright, so we've sanded the areas that I want to work on, and used some acetone to clean it up a little bit. You can see some pretty deep divots in there. I'm going to pick a couple layers of chop strand and build up those pockets a little bit before I start laying on the bigger pieces of fiberglass. In order to do all this work and not be covered in fiberglass dust, I opened up the forward hatch and the main hatch, and that kept the air pretty dust free, but it also made it 40 degrees in here. So I'm waiting for it to warm back up before we start applying some epoxy, because I want it to be released around 60 degrees before I start applying epoxy so it sets correctly. I also, you know, touched up this area a little bit with the sander. I have a feeling when I put the bar in, the bar is only going to be right here, the backing plate. So I'm gonna have to make sure that this is relatively flat, so I'll probably come back here and sand it. There's also the issue with this deck seam up here. There's some areas where it has rusted, and that'll all be sanded when we take the tow rail off, because the tow rail has a bunch of screws that are rusting through up there and also leaking. Gosh, this GoPro does not like the cold. At least it hasn't had like a catastrophic error where it erased footage like it did in the last episode, but I'm gonna have to be really careful using this, my GoPro 8, so that I don't lose any important bits from this project. Alright, so we've added the chop stand and biaxial layers to each of the chain plate pads. I'm pretty happy with the way they turned out. Less so with this side. It's kind of a low risk side, but with this side especially, I think did pretty well. And so after this, we have only 3 more to go, and really excited to get those done and to get some bronze bars on those, and being one step closer to getting the mast on. From here in the episode, we're gonna head down the West Coast and down to California and talk about how I like to travel and how to find species, target species, which I'm gonna be doing while I'm cruising as well on this boat. We're gonna be looking at where species occur and some hotspots for those species, so that we can kind of create cruising plans around that to see those species, whether it be sperm whales or seals or cactuses or whatever. There's a bit of a process to go through to do that. So I'm going to talk about that in situ while we're cruising in a car. Green means go. The bridge is open. The tank is clean. We're entering Oregon. Oh man, we're stuck in Ashland, Oregon. I-5 is shut down both directions at the California border, so well, I guess we're stuck here at least until it starts melting a little bit or the snowplows get out. Look at that. The whole town is shut down. The restaurants are closed. Totally reasonable. We're staying in the Timbers Inn and Suites. I mean, we couldn't get in the driveway. an employee with 10 minutes and a snow shovel would have done wonders. Wish they left one out for me, because I would have shoveled this whole place. Just happy we got here safe and the ice didn't get us. All right, so while we're stuck in Ashland, Oregon, I'm going to show you how we planned out this trip and how we were able to find some species along the way that are pretty hard to find. This morning we got the western screech owl, which is a new species for me. And yeah, I'm going to show you how I found it. So as far as bird species are concerned, there's a really handy app called Merlin, and it connects with your eBird, which is how I record my species and keep track of what I've seen and what I haven't. It also tells you if there's any species that you don't have that's nearby, but it can also be loaded up from the eBird app, it can be loaded up into the Merlin app, and from the Merlin app, you can actually put a pin on a map and filter out all the species that you already have, and it gives you a list of species that you don't have. So for Oregon, a species I didn't have was the western screech owl. And so with that information and the road trip route, I was able to go onto the eBird website and look at any recent sightings of western screech owls along the road trip path. And then create a couple of points where people have seen western screech owls recently. Now, if you're not into birds, I totally get that too. Here's a map of Vancouver Island and the route that I want to take around Vancouver Island. And I know there's a cactus species that I want to see, the northernmost occurring cactus species that lives on a few of the islands around Vancouver Island. But according to the range map, you can't really tell which islands those would be. So if you go on to iNaturalist, you can find that species, search that species, and see where people have reported those cactuses on iNaturalist, and then incorporate that into the route. So when I do eventually do the Vancouver Island trip, I'll be able to go to those islands with my boat and find those cactuses. So we chained up in Ashland, and they plowed the roads. So we've got chains on the roads, but chains are required on I-5, which is just around the corner. So it's awkward because we're getting passed by all these trucks going like 50, and I-5 doesn't look too bad, but we have to hit over the mountain pass into California, so which is chains required. So I guess we'll see when we hit I-5 if we need to take the chains off again. Right? We needed them to get out of the parking lot, so it's a good thing I put them on. A puppy! Driving at 10 and 2.
Kinda. We stopped to dechain because apparently after all that effort we didn't need it.
Well, we needed it to get out of the parking lot.
We needed it to get out of the parking lot, but Kevin's filthy. I don't know if you can see his pants. I made him take his coat off because he was getting my car disgusting.
We had some wet wipes, it was fine. A wet wipe shower.
Okay, I can't see what's going on under your booty though, so who the heck knows?
It's not, I didn't sit in the snow, come on.
Then why is it all over your pants?
Because I had to crawl to get I had to unwrap the axle of the chain. I had to crawl under the car and hope nobody rear-ended us. Instantly killing me.
Exit 6, approaching Mount Ashland.
Oh my goodness, we got 6 miles?
6 miles to California. You wouldn't know it by the weather.
Mount Ashland.
White.
There's a beautiful view here, usually.
There's a beautiful view of nothing.
The vista, the mountain vista. We just went over the summit, thank goodness. We're about to get into California. It really sneaks up on you at one of these corners here in the hills.
It looks like California, doesn't it?
Oh, we're so lucky to even make it over the pass. This pass is open briefly today, midday, during the melt, but there's some fresh snow that's expected to dump here again overnight. But we shouldn't have to worry about it again because this is a very unseasonable winter storm that just hit this area. It's all precipitation in California, so it's gonna make for some wet birding, but most of the time we're birding from the car anyway, so shouldn't be too bad. Coming up on the state line.
Yep. Oregon thinks you come back soon.
There it is! Hallelujah!
Welcome to California.
California poppy.
California.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah.
So now we got to just survive going downhill with the big rigs behind us in this tiny car.
We still have to survive the rest of Siskiyou County.
True. Yeah. But we made it over the part that was chain required beforehand and closed overnight.
Yeah.
Well, we made it out of the snow, but it's really wet here in the valley. And the birds like it, I guess, so we're hitting some bird spots and trying to avoid the flooded areas. So today we've headed offshore off Monterey. You probably can't see it, but the stacks are over there at Moss Landing, and then we've got Point Lobos there. And got a couple of gray whales, but I think the highlight was getting you that albatross.
Yeah, black-footed albatross.
Really nice close views of it too. We're heading offshore a little bit more to try and find some other species, but right now, mostly it's gray whales in the bay. But we'll keep looking. Alright, so we're on the second day of whale watching with Discovery. Discovery was kind enough to have me out for 2 days with Sarah. Sarah got another new bird today. A little sea potato, Cassin's auklet.
Yeah, really good views of it. Got pictures of it flying. Very clearly not a rhinoceros auklet, which is probably the other most common alcid besides common mirrors. So really, really great day. Plenty of mirrors out there today.
Yeah. Sea state's much better today. Still only got oh, there's some good auklets right in here. Still just a couple of gray whales. There were rhesus dolphins and other species in the area. But they were far down the coast, so we stuck with the gray whales farther up so that everybody could see some. Well, we're heading back in. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Hopefully that means the aquarium is empty.
Get you a victory today. Congrats. It's a sign. After next week, we'll see all the happy Valentine's.
Alright guys, sorry about that. Just had to make a pit stop. Some marine debris. Say Mylar balloon. Very bad out here, guys. But saved a sea turtle today. Saw some whales. We'll continue on our journey.
Best whale watch company in Monterey. Awesome. Well, we've gone inland from Monterey. This morning we went down Big Sur and found some condors and looked for the Big Sur snail, which we found some shells, which was pretty cool. But now we've headed inland away from the ocean, sadly. But we're looking for one of the oldest trees in the world, probably maybe even the oldest tree in the world, Methuselah, a bristlecone pine that lives up in alpine desert here on the Nevada-California border. So we're heading up the east side of California, up into the high desert. All right, we're at 10,000 feet. Can't really make it much farther because after this, it just is packed ice up there, which, I mean, in the winter in the desert, it's just packed ice. The car can't handle it. So this is where we have to turn around at the sign for the ancient bristlecones. We got one right here in the sun. It's like 20 degrees. It's really blowing, but it's a dry cold, so it really doesn't suck anything out of you. Oh, beautiful Sierras. Just fell there. There's a bristlecone there. It's a big one. So Methuselah is like 5,000 years old. That's like ancient Greece, which is amazing. We got some new birds on the way up, juniper titmouse and Woodhouse's scrub jay. We're still looking for the pinion jay, but we got the rest of the day to find it on the way to Lake Tahoe. What do you think? We're here at the bristlecones. Look at that big one down there.
Yeah, and this one behind you?
Yeah, and these ones. Amazing.
Yeah.
Look at that marbled, curled wood. Incredible. There's another storm coming.
Yeah.
We got to make it over the pass into Oregon before that. So we're heading back a different way and sooner. We pretty much skedaddled up from the desert because there's a winter storm coming. And we made it up to Eugene just before the snow started falling, I guess, because we woke up to snow on the ground. But making over to the pass was the important part. So we're gonna head up to Portland for Sarah's last second look facility visit at Oregon Health and Sciences University. Hopefully the roads are okay. Well, it's pretty rough for Oregon, but not too bad. I think we're gonna make it just fine up to Portland. We're about an hour and a half or an hour to the... Oh!
We're gonna go past the Enchanted Forest.
It's the Enchanted Forest. The famous Enchanted Forest.
I guess. I don't know anything about it.
I don't know anything about it either, but it's famous.
Alright.
Well, our Airbnb is over in there on a hill in the snow, and we're only in this little, my wife's little Accord, because it was really fuel efficient. We didn't expect this much snow, but it's calling for 3 to 4 inches overnight, and right now the freeways are plowed and everything, so we're thinking we're just gonna go home now. To Olympia, which is just a couple hours north on the freeway. I hate disappointing the hosts and all the work that they put into getting the house ready and everything, but yeah, we don't want to get stuck here for a long time, so we're gonna head north back up to Olympia, where I'm gonna be able to finish editing this video and get ready to work on the boat for a few days if we can make it out of there, which we should be able to. Oh my goodness, I haven't seen you in like 2 weeks. A baby. Lauren, Calvin, giddy giddy. Come on, babies. Come on, babies. You're so fast now. It's Valentine's Day, hence the hearts. Aww. So good to see you guys. Oh. All right, son. What is it? All right, I've got all your names in a wheel ready to spin. It's the moment you've all been waiting for to win a shirt. Everybody who commented on the last video is entered on the spinner, So let's see who won the shirt. Hey, Lisa wins. I think it's Lisa. I will get in contact with you and I will send you a shirt. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for putting up with the past 2 weeks of being down in California. Heading back out onto the boat this tomorrow to keep on working on the chain plate pads and film another episode. So it's good to be back. It's good to be working on the boat again. As spring approaches, I'm excited to work on projects like the bowsprit and installing the new chain plates. We've got a lot coming, a lot coming on this channel, and thank you for your support. I'm gonna send that t-shirt out, and thank you to everybody on the Patreon and all my supporters. You guys made this journey a lot more affordable for me, and definitely helping to drive this project forward quite a bit, actually. So thank you everybody for watching. Stay warm, stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow.